Hey guys, so welcome back to my program. And now I have a few things to say in this program regarding how life is, how people are, for example, and stuff like that, for example. So you have to understand that with life, you have to make your own decisions. You have to go in a place of solitude sometimes, and you have to work on yourself. You have to work on your goals. You have to work on what is important to you. So, for example, with people, you have to understand some people don't want to message you on purpose. They don't want to get to know you. They don't want to do anything with you on a weekend. So you have to get to the point in your life where you feel you are observing life, you're helping yourself in some kind of way, you're coaching yourself, and you're solving your own problems. Because other people cannot fulfill you. Okay, other people cannot fulfill you. You have to understand other people can only add to you, and that's about it. But you have to sort your own life out. You have to go where you feel it's best for you. You know, going the lone road, going and doing things alone, for example, is gonna make you feel much better. Okay, although people are not going to be around you. Okay, so if you go totally the lone road, like for example, going gym by yourself, going for a drive by yourself, going to the city by yourself, being away from people, from the past, and just going your own way and seeing who messages you, seeing who talks to you, stuff like that. You have to understand you must not chase other people to have a deep conversation with them. And now have a deep conversation with yourself, and it's good to have a deep conversation with people, but what I'm saying is don't chase other people to validate you. Don't chase other people to do anything with them, okay? The thing is that those people who rightly want to be in your life will make an effort to be in your life. Do you understand? Because those people who are not making an effort to be in your life, make sure that you don't make an effort to be in their life. Do you understand? Because in my time living in life, you have to understand I've tried many times to hang out with people, and I've been faced with rejection and rejection and rejection and rejection. They're saying, oh, I'm not interested in that film. Oh, I don't go that place. I don't go clubbing. I don't go here. I don't go there. Yes, and so the thing is that you have to realize in my life why I'm so alone. So I'm so alone because I feel that it's much better for me to be with myself than to be with other people. And so if I feel like going to poker, I'm going to go poker because I feel the need to go. But if I feel the need to be alone with myself, then I'm going to go do things like go for a movie, go to a restaurant, go night clubbing somewhere, go somewhere totally alone with myself, where no one else knows where I am. You understand? Because you have to understand that the more effort you put into someone, the less they're going to put into you. You understand? Because I've tried many times to put effort into people, and it doesn't get to the stage of, hey, let's hang out. Let's go out somewhere. Let's enjoy the night. You understand? These people totally are careless. They're totally people who do not care to hang out with you, but care to be your internet friend. They want to be your internet friend, but they don't want to hang out with you in daily life because they're so busy. They're like Elon Musk, you know? So you have to realize that you have to get to the stage where you're solving your own problems, you're taking care of yourself, you're loving yourself, you're grooming, you're showering, you're helping yourself to communicate with those people that really matter to you. People, you talk to people specifically for what you need from them. You understand? So what you need to do is you need to summarize information from which person's which, and you need to understand to talk to those people based on how they are. You understand? So you talk to people based on how they are. Okay, so if they're 50 years old and you're 25 years old, of course there's a specific way you talk to that 50-year-old man. You understand? But let's say the person's 18 years old and you're 25, you're going to speak to an 18-year-old differently than you would a 50-year-old. You understand? So you have to understand that around you and your connections in life and people around you, you have to summarize how those people are towards you, and do they deserve to be in your presence? Do they deserve to be with you? You understand? Because if people are not making an effort for you, and you got all this, you have a good heart, you're a good person, you're doing a lot of content for people online, you're helping people online, but the universe, in terms of those people, are not reciprocating to how you help people, or how you live your life, or the things that you're doing with your life to help out those people, but they're not grateful for you, they're not trying to be in your life, they're not trying to get with you, they're not trying to call you on weekends, they're not trying to do anything with you. You understand? So you have to understand that from this point you would say, why should I even hang out with these people? Why should I be with someone who doesn't appreciate me to even get to know me? You understand? Especially this girl that I liked her so much. You understand? I kept trying to get with her, I kept trying to be in her presence, I kept trying and trying and trying. And a few years later, I asked her, "Hey, let's go one-on-one and talk over there," and she doesn't want to. You know, since she feels uncomfortable to talk to me. You know, since so this is the kind of thing, like, for example, you dedicate so much of your time to people, and they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about how much time you gave them, and stuff like that. That's why in my daily life, I have little to no friends in daily life, because I'm so aware of how people are. You give them so much time, and they do not make an effort, or they don't make an extra effort to get to know you, or even to be in your life based on everything you are. So you have to get to the point in your life where you feel you're solving problems, you're solving your own problems, you're helping yourself out, you're living your best potential, and you're finally like in a position where you're successful, you have money coming in, you're making money online, and you're doing events around people, and you're going your own way. You're just going a different path to where those people of the past are, because you have to realize that you have to go do your life. You have to do your life in a way that you feel it's necessary for you. And I want you to be around people that love you. I want you to be around people that care for you, people that give you something, people that help you to get to the next level in your life. So you have to realize that people are so, let's say, absorbed in technology these days, because you have to realize that, like, technology today has become the normal, because a person without a phone is going to fall behind, or they're not going to keep up with the trend of life, or whatever it is. So you have to realize that, you have to understand that every single day in your life, you have to show your courage, show your devotion to what you do in your life. And every single day, getting to a better stage in your life, getting to the place where you feel that you need to be at. You understand? Because especially when you're not working 9 to 5, you feel very isolated. You understand? You could go to the beach, but you don't feel like going to the beach because you're vaping. And because you're vaping, you don't feel like going to the beach, for example, and other people are going to see you because you have weight issues or whatever it is. This is all mind anxiety, This is all anxiety from the mind. So you have to focus on something that helps you to feel at peace, something that helps you to feel that you're growing, something that helps you feel that you're making a difference in your life. You understand? You have to make a difference to yourself and other people, but you have to understand that people are going to take your information for, they're going to take your information in terms of, they're going to use you for your resources, So you have to realize that some people take advantage of your content, some people don't, but you have to realize that the way people treat you is not the measure of your self-worth. How other people are towards you right now is not the measure of your self-worth. Your self-worth is how you treat yourself on a daily basis. Your self-worth is how you treat yourself, not how they treat you. You understand? So in order to improve your self-worth, you have to treat yourself better. Okay? Because your self-worth and confidence is not dependent on other people. Your self-worth and confidence is totally dependent upon you. What you do with your life, how you're succeeding, what you're doing in your life to succeed, how you're moving forward, what are you learning, who are you learning from, who are you surrounding yourself with, what are you becoming in your life, do you even like the person that you are today? You know, because this person you are now was 10 years ago a dream of yours. You know, the person I am today was once a dream 10 years ago for me. You know, since so I became the person today that I was dreaming about 10 years ago. You understand? So you have to realize that, of course, when you look back in your life, are you much better than yesterday or are you worse than yesterday? You understand? So for myself, I can say I'm much better than yesterday at the moment. I'm much better than yesterday at the moment. So focus on only becoming better than yourself. Don't focus on becoming better than other people. Focus on becoming better than yourself. Every single day, feeding information, making sure you're growing, making sure you're creating, making sure every single day you're doing your best job, doing something that you love to do. You understand? You have to focus on your life. You have to focus on something that helps you to give your information. But if someone doesn't accept you for how you are, then you have to understand that you don't need them to accept you so that your worth or self-worth increases. You understand? Because some people will never accept you. You understand? So don't define your worth by how others are. Don't define your worth by how other people are towards you right now. Don't define your worth as a person and individual by how other people are treating you. You understand? So you have to get to the stage in your life where you feel very confident about who you are. Okay, where you feel healthy, where you feel that you're successful, that you feel you have finances, that you have work, that you have money coming in, and that you're finally at the stage where you want to be at in your life. You know, saying you want to feel confident about the person you are, that you can go have friends now, that you can, for example, work a 9-to-5 job, that you can, for example, go and learn because other people can do it and so can you. You know, since so whatever other people can do, you can do that too. You know, since so you're not any less than other people. You know, since so you have to focus on yourself and your life and where you're going with your life and what you want to do with your life, because many people don't have time for you. You know what I'm saying? But that is not the definition of your self-worth. And the way other people don't want to hang out with you does not decrease your self-worth. Okay, what decreases your self-worth is how you think about things in your daily life. But you have to increase your self-worth by thinking things that are gonna increase your self-worth. Since so there are many people in life right now that are not contacting me, they're not messaging me, they're not coming into my life, they're not trying to get to know me, they're not trying to be in my life, they're not even trying to care about me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm making sure that my self-worth is not attached to the way they're treating me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not about how they're treating me. It's about how am I treating myself. You know what I'm saying? How am I treating myself today? Am I kind toward myself? Am I taking care of myself? Am I loving myself? Am I staying off the drugs? You know what I'm saying? So I'm focusing on a better life for myself to go toward the direction that I feel is much better for me. And the best way for me to do this in my life is to guide myself through words in audio programs that I make, or video programs that I make, or quotes that I make, or images or photos or writing materials that I make. So I'm constantly learning about how to increase my self-worth based on how I treat me and not how other people treat me. You understand? So my self-worth has nothing to do with how much money I have in my bank account. My self-worth is typically only about how I treat myself in daily life. How do I treat myself? So think about, how do you treat yourself in daily life? You know, are you treating yourself good, kindly? Are you treating yourself kindly? Are you treating yourself in a way that you feel good about who you are? You know, because it's all about how you're treating yourself. You know, it's all about how are you giving what you have to other people? How are you building a portfolio? How are you building something in your life? How are you making your dreams come true? And what steps are you taking today to make sure that you're moving forward in your life? Because it's about you, okay? It's not about other people. It's about you, okay? So make things about you. You understand? Make things about you. But when you're working with other people, make things about them. But in your personal life, when you're with yourself, okay, when it's just you in your room, or when you're walking somewhere by yourself or doing things by yourself, make things about you, okay? Make things totally about you in those situations, okay? Unless you're working with other people, unless you're getting to know other people or whatever it is, unless you're helping other people, then make things about them. But when it's just about you, when it's just you and you and you, in terms of when you're not working with other people, when it's just you in yourself, with yourself, and there's no one else around you, make that moment in your life about you. You understand where you're going, your goals, your path, your successful method, or whatever it is that is on your mind. Throw it into an audio program, video program, quote, writing materials. Focus on your passions. Focus on something that helps you to grow yourself as much as possible. Give your heart to yourself. You understand? Give your heart to yourself and start really focusing on your direction, your path, what steps you need to take to move forward. How are you going to move forward? How are you creating information today? What are you doing with your life to succeed? How are you going to succeed today, for example? Because that's what you need to focus on. You need to focus on your life, your material, your goals. How are you progressing in your life, playing your life forward every single day in video programs, audio programs, whatever you can make, okay? Post it on YouTube, make courses about it, sell it online eventually, and get to the stage that you really truly want to be at, where you can feel that you can now progress forward and work a 9-to-5 job, because now you see your steps in life and you see now it's required of you to work 9-to-5 or whatever it is. You have to understand that eventually you're going to get on a level 3, okay? And this means you're going to live alone eventually. Your parents are going to die, and you're not coming back to level 1 to live with your parents, okay? Because on level 2, you're traveling somewhere, you're traveling, and on level 2, you're not settled down. But on level 3, once you're on level 3, you are totally settled down now. You're totally settled down. Your parents are no longer in your life, in terms of they're no longer with you anymore, and you're going to get to a better stage. Now you're going to realize that from this point, hey, I have to work 9-to-5 now. I have to work 9-to-5 or whatever it is. I have to start making money now. I have to start getting serious about 9-to-5 work and progressing and making more money and stuff like that, so that I can have a family of my own, so I can attract a woman, so I can do all these things, you know. But you have to realize that you must not beat yourself up over the head because you didn't go to poker, or because you didn't, for example, hang out with someone, or because you didn't message them, or whatever it is. Because life is very complex, you know. Life is very complex, and the thing is that people are sometimes not emotionally available for you. Do you understand? So you have to do everything in your power to summarize your whole day into an audio program and start learning from your day. Start learning from the surroundings that you find yourself in. So if you're in a dilemma, if you're financially, for example, in stress or anything like that, if you are someone who's struggling with your finances or whatever it is, figure out ways that you can get into the community, figure out ways on your own that you can go ahead and make yourself, for example, money, where you can help yourself to get to the stage that you need to be at in your life and pursue your goals and passions, and start really focusing on how can you break the barrier of your life by growing in a way that you outgrow yourself, so you can become that person that you want to be. Okay, because this person that you are today, okay, you were dreaming about this person 10 years ago. Okay, but what do we do from this point on? Now we start setting goals, we start setting more plans, we start writing, we start focusing on a better life, we start coaching much more. You know, saying we have a bigger purpose, we have something much greater to do. So all that I want to focus on in 2025, for example, I want to make 1 minute programs, I want to make 1 hour programs. I want to just keep talking and talking and talking. And I want to figure out my life, and I want to figure out how am I progressing in my life, how am I doing my job. For example, how can I do a better job for myself, and how can I get to the stage in my life where I feel I'm successful, where I'm helping myself to help other people. I'm actually in the community now, and I'm growing, and I'm actually making a difference, but I'm doing so much more now because I feel happy, because I feel that I have a purpose, because I feel that I'm helping in some kind of way people around me, and that helps me to gain clarity, that helps me to basically do my job, that helps me to get to a better point in my life, and that helps me to grow as much as possible, you know. So that's why I'm focusing on a better life now. You understand? Because every time I make a program, every time I make something, I get happier and happier and happier, because I'm solving my own problems. I'm solving something for myself in an audio program, video program. I'm making courses so that eventually I can sell them online, so that I can make money, so I can look for a better thing to do in my life. You understand? Eventually. You understand? Because everything that I'm doing now has purpose. You understand? So purpose is very important in your life. You have to have a purpose. You have to have something that you're doing in your life that other people are not doing, and you have to create purpose and meaning and stuff in your life where you can help a ton of people with your information. Okay, so creating a lot of information, creating something about you online, you know, and creating this social media powerhouse of a profile that's going to help people for decades and centuries, but also making sure that you're just doing your work. You know, it's not so much about how many people are following you. It's important that people are just aware of you. You know, many people are aware of me online. Many people understand what my name is on my Instagram. Okay, Danny Milivojevic. It's very easy to remember my name. Okay, but many people, like let's say thousands of people, are not following me online. Okay, they're not following me, but they've heard of me. Okay, so for today, in today's world in 2025, it's very hard for a person to click follow on your Instagram. You understand? Because you really have to be a millionaire or billionaire for them to follow you, for example. You understand? So you have to realize that I've been posting content for over 7 years now online. I've made a decent profile of information, just information, junk out of the trunk, you know, like just junk information that's going to help your life, you know. But you have to realize that with everything that I've done, you know, I've acquired some wisdom in my life. I've acquired something that I've learned in my life, that I can have a voice. I can post my voice on YouTube. I can post my voice somewhere online, and I can make a difference with what I'm doing with my life. And I can encourage other people to do the same thing, you know, and I can help myself to express myself, and my internet, in terms of my voice, it will always be on the internet, you know. So I'm growing myself the best way I can, and I'm doing the things that I always dreamt of doing back then when I was 15 years old and all that, and stuff like that, you know. But you have to realize that in your life, every single day, coach yourself to get to the better stage. Start experiencing things in your life. Start experiencing things that you can do in your life. You know what I'm saying? Start experiencing things like traveling, going places, you know, experiencing new life. Have some variety in your life. Take yourself out somewhere and experience something new. Because you have to realize that creativity really happens when you're alone. When you're totally alone with yourself, that's the moment to be creative. But when you're with other people, you'll find that it's very much more difficult to do social media and creative stuff when you're with other people. Okay? But when you're alone, you can just focus on your creative stuff and your creative opportunity that you have with you. Create something with your life. Create your life so it's becoming better and better and better. Focus on doing your passions away from other people. You know what I'm saying? Focus on doing something that makes you a better person in the process. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to make you a better individual. You know what I'm saying? So focus on helping yourself to grow. Focus on helping yourself to do programs. Focus on helping yourself to become someone of an influence online. So you're making a difference, and just do your coaching stuff every single day. Make a YouTube channel and start posting your voice on it. Regardless of who's following you or who's not, and who's in your life and who's not, and who's messaging you and calling you and who's not messaging you and who's not calling you. Focus on you, focus on your direction, focus on what's best for you in life. If you feel it's much better to go to poker and just play poker, regardless of if that girl's going to be there or not, and regardless of if you're going to say hi to her or not, and regardless of whatever it is that whoever's there or whoever's not, you feel like playing poker, so you're going to go poker because it's going to help you to be around people for that night or whatever it is. Saying you go because you feel it's much better for you to go than not go. Saying you go and make your decision about what you want to do with your life, and you go succeed with your life. Saying that's all I want to say for this program. I hope that you guys have enjoyed, and see you guys in the next program.